Hey guys, got some bad news. I have to cancel the April Fool's Day commentary this year. I know, very sad, but I'm just so busy right now. Got so much I need to do, and I wasted a bunch of my time playing Shovel Knight. I'm so sorry for the disappointment, guys. I know you were all looking forward to this. I was even going to do like this really funny and really clever fake CC rant, and it was going to be super funny and super original. And now I even wrote a script for that. And I guess you guys will just never get to see it be read by me. But it just has to happen occasionally. What can I say? I don't have all the time in the world. Is anyone still there? Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to open the video like that to get rid of anyone who wouldn't understand what I'm about to show everyone. Yes, I am doing an April Fool's Day commentary this year, and I think I honestly found the perfect video to cover. You see, those of you who have been around the commentary community for longer than about 20 minutes probably know the name DoodleClones. I mean, she is one of the biggest channels in the entire community and more or less the face of the slideshow commentary community at this point. However, that wasn't always the case. When she first showed up in incredibly late 2015, her commentaries were at best mediocre and at worst just terrible. And the worst commentary she ever made, by her own admission, was, well, the title is now a commentary I disown. Just to give you all of an idea of how much she wants you to know that she's disowned it. She also put a giant disowned stamp on the thumbnail and put the word disowned in the description. The commentary was originally called One Poor Commentator versus Pokemon versus a Digimon. And I had what I thought was a hilarious idea. That being, I was going to cover the video while pretending like I didn't know who DoodleClones was the entire time and acting like she still stood by the video and all that. It's gonna be really funny, just trust me. In fact, I'll start the video now so you can all see how funny it's going to be.
So a person from the Neil CC steps away from what they normally talk about to talk about Pokemon and fails every which way you cut it. Wait, didn't I do this already?
Wait, was this always the opening of Doodle's video? Because I don't remember this part. You know what, maybe I'm just remembering things wrong. I haven't actually watched this video in like years, so hey, Who knows?
Let me start this video by thanking Logan Vernier for requesting this commentary, and also saying to those on Twitter who say that I'm an awful commentator, trust me, I know.
Believe me, you get worse.
Okay, that definitely wasn't there. Those videos didn't come out for years after the DoodleClones video on TP, and even in those screenshots, the videos are a year old. Oh my god! There's only one possible explanation. Every copy of DoodleClones' video on Master TP10 is personalized! Every copy of DoodleClones' Master TP10 video is personalized. DoodleClones' experimental AI adapts and subtly creates a slightly altered version of the video, tailored specifically for you, appealing to you subconsciously in ways you don't even notice, as well as attempting to mess with you and study how you react to it. Have you ever watched someone else's copy of DoodleClones' Master TP10 commentary? Have you ever felt like something was just a little bit off? Well, yeah, the video is terrible, so it makes sense why you'd feel that way. Okay, false alarm. Turns out I just got the wrong video. Damn it. Well, I'm here, so I might as well cover this video, but first I should explain what's going on. So this is DoodleClones, not DoodleTones, DoodleClones, a YouTuber who uses DoodleTones art assets to complain about DoodleTones, and has been active in my comments defending Carmen Ryder, which led to this wonderful discussion in the comments of my video, Carmen Ryder and Agents, A Love Story. Seriously, pause the video and read this conversation. I'm not entirely sure what her point was. Like, seriously, are you, like, Carmen Ryder's #1 fan or something? I don't get it. Those who have watched my videos might remember that he was mentioned in my first Studio Needing More video and in my second Neko Coda video. However, I've never actually gone into why I find his argumentation skills to just be fucking terrible. And if you want to know the perfect example as to why I think this, well, let's watch his commentary on DoodleClones' TP video. Might as well, I mean, I already have the file, apparently.
So a person from the Neil CC steps away from what they normally talk about to talk about Pokemon and fails every which way you cut it. Wait, didn't I do this already?
Okay, I'm debating what I dislike more about this opening, the cinematic aspect ratio, or the fact that you didn't actually give us any details into what is happening in this video. You just told us it's going to be about Pokemon. Well, okay, how many degrees is it going to be? Who is DoodleClones commentating on? Hell, you didn't even say you were covering DoodleClones in your introduction. You just said a person from the Neo-CC. Well, that basically means anyone in the slideshow commentary community. So who are you covering exactly? You have to keep in mind that inevitably somebody is going to come across this video who doesn't know who DoodleClones is, who doesn't know what a Neo-CC is, who doesn't know what a TP is, and so on and so forth. And you have to fill in the gaps for that person. That is your job as a commentator. But instead, we just get you saying a person from the Neo-CC covered Pokemon. Okay, well, you going to tell us any more?
Let me start this video by thanking Logan Vernier for requesting this commentary, and also saying to those on Twitter who say that I'm an awful commentator, trust me, I know.
Believe me, you get worse.
But that said, I enjoy making commentaries, so I'll continue doing so. Anyway, I was requested to do a commentary on a Master TP video, someone who I have had no prior knowledge of, and honestly I didn't care enough to do research because the video requested of me is 41 minutes long. And there's no chance in hell I'm covering it all anyway. I'll probably watch more of these guys' commentaries later when I'm not set up for trying to be the defendant of Chaos Key 4013, or just be an asshole who sits and pokes at Master TP, Tin, Zera, Rick, and Gale Force 3192 and start a fire that I have no business starting.
Can you see into the future?
Oh my god, that was literally the same joke twice in a row. And the second time it didn't even make any sense. How did DoodleClones start a fire she had no business starting with confessions and apologies? If anything, those videos seem to put fires out more than anything else.
Either way, as long as this is fun for me in the end, I do not care. And that said, I'll be skipping around quite a bit because as once again I point to the length of this video and mainly addressing points I feel I actually want to point out.
Before I start the commentary proper, I want to make a disclaimer, given some of the reactions to my previous commentary. Regardless of what I think of the people I commentate on, regardless of the motivation behind the commentary, and regardless of what I say about the people I commentate on, the purpose of my commentaries are, and have always been, for the purpose of criticism and entertainment.
Cool. My commentaries are for shits and giggles, and to argue against whatever video I'm commentating on is saying, despite whether I agree with them in the end or not. See that ever-becoming popular Comment Jack commentary or my commentary on DiCaprio DeLorean for examples of.
And I don't know what my purpose is.
What is my purpose?
You pass butter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
That. So, that said, let's push on ahead.
Okay, I need to bring up something now because if I don't, it will continue to annoy me throughout the entire video. Clones' footage of the video that he's commentating on is very slightly desynced. It's a little hard to notice at first, but once you notice it, it's the only thing you notice about his presentation. For reference, here's how that footage played in Chaos Key's original video. Here is how it looks in Master TP10's video. Here is how that looks in DoodleClones' video. In all of those clips, you should notice that the static sound and the static image appear at the exact same time. Let's compare that to how it looks in DoodleClones' video.
Push on ahead.
Notice the slight delay between the static picture and the static sound effect. I know why this happened, by the way. Clones is clearly using a screen recorder, that's why we can see a little watermark in the video. And the thing is with screen recorders is they glitch up all the time. Okay, and I'm not blaming Clones for this, by the way. This is not Clones' fault. That's just how screen recorders work. That is why you are supposed to download a video if you want to commentate on it, unless you are doing some kind of live commentary. Clones is not doing a live commentary, so he just has no excuse.
No! Don't you ever touch Lana again!
Wait, what did you just shoot? Chaos Key? Yourself? The footage? Lana? Ryan?
Ow! My Chipotle!
That's a good question, actually. You bring no excuse as the random gunshot noise. It just comes off as, well, pointless.
I think they were implying that he tried to shoot the intro but shot Ryan instead.
Okay, I'm trying not to nitpick the editing because, well, my editing is not perfect either, but how does your background disappear for a full half second? Especially considering you were still talking when it disappeared.
Stop using my avatars!
Why do you do this to me?
Wait, how is Ryan still alive after that?
They weren't shot in a place that would result in instant death, and it hasn't been long enough for them to bleed out yet. You do know that bleeding out takes time, right?
Now, I know Sean's made a new intro since making this countdown, but we want to criticize what he changed for this Halloween edition of his old intro, just in case he tries to do.
Wow, that's a bad microphone.
Not really, no. I mean, I can hear him just fine, I can understand him just fine. The quality could be better, sure, but it's not, oh my god, that's a bad microphone worthy.
I know that my text-to-speech voice is not the most pleasant thing to listen to, but at the very least it's something new.
No, it isn't. Automagic Critic has been doing text-to-speech commentaries for 6 years now, and Pink Robot and Nintendo Meta Runner have also done text-to-speech commentaries in the past. Hell, if you want to go even further back, we can talk about channels like Most Hated Stuff and The Uncle Hammer. And if you want to open this up to troll channels, then off the very top of my head, there were channels like Communist Commentator, Spyscriber, and Fluttershy259, all of which, again, used text-to-speech.
Having a bad microphone is nothing special. I suggest you get yourself a U37 microphone. You can get one for about $70.
Do this again.
First off, the audio is fucking shit.
Says the person who sounds like he's recording in his bathroom.
Again, how? Do you mean that Xeric has an echo? Because I guess, but it's so minor I wouldn't have noticed it had you not pointed it out.
What? Could you not find a better version of this on YouTube? Or even rip it yourself? All it is a random static transition clip you found that you inserted. Unedited, mind you! Into the intro, followed by bits and pieces from the opening of Pokemon Crystal. This is lazy.
1. I don't see how that's a problem too. Also, this is funny coming from you. Since all your stills are just PNGs. You found on Google image results. And you didn't even bother to remove the background for any of them.
PNGs don't have backgrounds to remove. You are thinking of JPEGs.
So I don't think you have the right to complain about someone being lazy here, mister.
You could have at least done something, like play the static clip for a second and then cut it at the beginning in order to have some form of glitchiness. Next.
Are you gonna murder him if he doesn't?
Okay, I'm trying to not make this commentary just me being confused at the video for however long this is going to be, but I honestly have no idea what point Clones was trying to make with that.
The fact that you're using unknown is something spooky, though I'm gonna let Gale cover this.
Oh no, it's unknown spooky.
I don't think it was even supposed to be scary.
Then why did he add it to the Halloween edition of his intro in the first place? I'm not even necessarily saying you're wrong, I'm just asking what makes you think this exactly, and what do you know? Another video that's fallen apart because the person making it doesn't actually explain their points.
What one finds spooky or unnerving may not spook or creep out another. I myself find the movie It to be laughably bad. However, those with coulrophobia may think otherwise. I myself have an irrational fear of sitting under chandeliers, but my brother thinks it's absolutely hilarious.
How has this not become an internet meme?
Okay, here's my attempt to make that an internet meme. Is it funny?
Yes. It's subjective. And while sure, when one makes a subjective video, they can have a conversation started on maybe some better things that could have been pointed out or maybe better reasons for those entries, but in the end, it is subjective. And if he finds unknowns to be spooky, that's his prerogative.
Just because something is subjective doesn't mean you can't criticize it. You can't just hand wave away criticism but it's subjective.
First off, thank you for repeating the point twice. I didn't quite get it the first time. But seriously, you are half right on this. You can't hand-wave away criticism of a statement by saying that the overall end to that statement is subjective. That is true. The issue at hand, and DoodleClones also got this wrong for the record, is that's not what was happening. The Tri-Op wasn't getting onto Chaos Key's case for finding unknowns scary, they were getting onto his case for just using cuts to static and then footage of unknowns in replacement of things that are scary. Instead of building up a proper atmosphere where unknowns could be scary, Chaos Key instead just put an unknown up on screen and called it a day, essentially. The major issue they had was that it was lazy, above all else. Even if you are scared of clowns, to use the example DoodleClones used, you most likely wouldn't feel any fear if I just randomly put up a picture of a clown without any rhyme or reason and did absolutely nothing with it. So DoodleClones got this wrong. I will give you that. But you still didn't quite get it right. You just say, well, you can criticize things that are subjective, which, again, kind of. You can criticize somebody for the reasons they have this subjective feeling, but you can't really criticize the subjective feeling itself. For example, I think the movie Talk Radio is terrible. Terrible! It's one of the most boring movies I've ever seen, and you can tell that it's clearly trying to be stylistic and just fails miserably. You can't criticize me for thinking Talk Radio is a terrible movie. Well, okay, I guess you technically could, but you wouldn't really make a valid argument with it. You could criticize me if I said something like Talk Radio is terrible because it was directed by Oliver Stone, because that's not why it's terrible. You could also criticize me if I said something like Talk Radio is under an hour, which it's not. Now, with that said, the statement I gave before had some kind of objective basis, which the Triop really didn't have because what objective thing had even happened in Chaos Key's video so far? We're just at the intro. They thought it was kind of poorly edited, I guess, but even then, that is still entirely subjective.
Wait, Mr. Demonic Entity, sir, I'll fix that for you.
I think the part I like most about this joke is how you cut off the video incorrectly, so we still see the Chaos Key text after we see you editing it to DoodleClones.
Who sleeps like that?
What happened?
You must have met my friend Susie. She does this stuff to people all the time.
You just answered your own question. People who meet your friend Susie sleep like that, and... oh god, this is a rape joke, isn't it?
Did I doze off while editing?
No. Susie, did a thing with you while you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's a rape joke, and a horribly, horribly unfunny, and a horribly, horribly predictable one at that. Although, I call it a joke, but I'm not even entirely sure what the punchline is outside of lol, Chaos Key was raped by one of DoodleClones' characters, I guess. I just don't know what else to say. Like, I'm not even offended at this. I'm just horribly, horribly annoyed, if I'm being blunt.
Complete a top 5 Halloween countdown about something dark within a given time. Failure to complete the list shall result in erasure.
That's oddly specific.
Okay, two things. One, someone has clearly never seen Saw. And two, don't you mean specific?
I like these implications. It's now my headcanon that Sean is actually dead and these videos are nothing more than his eternal torment for being literally Hitler in a previous life, all because his parents never let him go to the Fall Out Boys concert with his golf girlfriend, which is totally different from emo, by the way. So he ended up doing a murder-suicide on his family, but that failed since it turned out he didn't have the right dosage of weed to OD off of, so he went to jail and then played butt buddies with Big Bubba and ended up killing him due to Sean's weak pelvis. What the fuck was any of that?
I think you just described DoodleClones' backstory.
You know, I'm starting to think this clones person doesn't particularly like DoodleClones. Call it a hunch.
You tell me, you're the one who went on a 50-second tangent about your headcanon. The only one who would know what the fuck that was would be you. I know you were trying to get a joke out there, but that joke was so far out there and random, it barely made any sense whatsoever. Try again, please.
But I thought you couldn't criticize jokes. Because they're subjective. Yet you're doing it here. You're such a hypocrite. Try again.
When did DoodleClones say you couldn't criticize jokes? I have no idea what you're talking about at this point. I really don't. Mind you, it is possible that DoodleClones did say something along these lines, in which case, are you going to show us a clip of her saying that, by any chance? No? Okay, then your audience is just completely confused and has no idea what you're talking about. Congratulations.
That's what I'm counting down. These are my top 5 dark and creepy things in Pokemon.
You say that these things make the series not child-friendly, but there are plenty of things that I've done and had worse that are still considered child-friendly.
What? No, he didn't. He just said that they were creepy. Not that it made it not child-friendly. Stop putting words in his mouth. Jesus Christ.
Okay, this is another one that you're half right on. Chaos Key actually said that the dark and creepy things in Pokemon, quote, make me question how child-friendly the series really is. He didn't say the series wasn't child-friendly because of these things explicitly.
But for a series geared towards children, there's some weird, dark, and creepy stuff in this series that makes me question just how kid-friendly it really is.
Chaos Key also makes a joke later about the series deserving the rating of E for explicit.
Wait. They killed the Cubone's mother. In a kid's game. Rated E for everyone? More like rated E for explicitness.
However, Xeric's point was that Chaos Key was greatly overselling just how rare it is to have creepy and scary things in children's media. To put it another way, Chaos Key was being incredibly overdramatic, and at the end of the day was just talking about an incredibly common occurrence.
Say that these things make the series not child-friendly, but there are plenty of things that I've done and had worse that are still considered child-friendly. What, is it something special that needs note because it's fucking Pokemon? What, do you need a fucking parade for this stunning revelation that a company isn't treating its target audience like lobotomized slowpokes?
This is a point the Triop elaborates on further after Chaos Key's E for explicit remark.
Yeah, off-screen death. Explicit. Look, I know it was a joke, but what I'm trying to say is, your joke is shit.
Oh no, it's like death is a real-life concept or something! Besides, they never show how the Marowak died, or describe how the event occurred. They just said that Team Rocket was responsible for killing Cubone's mother. It's sad and admittedly dark, but that doesn't mean it's not kid-friendly.
How is that shit explicit when that Marowak's death happened off-screen? You want an example of an actual on-screen death that messed with kids' heads, yet it happened in an E-rated game? Here. Moral of the story, kids, dark stuff can happen in an E-rated game. Hell, it's not just games. There are plenty of G-rated movies where main characters that aren't villains die on screen.
Mufasa! No!
That, for example.
The exact words Chaos Key used don't debunk this point. Please stop being pedantic.
The music, at least in the original games, was a very unsettling tune.
Yeah, the only reason that music was unsettling in the original games was because it was 8-bit.
Does not change the fact that to him it was unsettling. Next!
1. Shut up, DoodleClones. 2. The song isn't only creepy in the Game Boy versions. As in Pokemon. Let's go Eevee. It sounds like...
You know, the games that came out in 2018, 2 years after DoodleClones' video came out? Oh, and there's also the small fact that this doesn't actually debunk Gale Force's point. Gale was saying that the reason why that music was creepy in the original Pokemon games was because it was 8-bit, specifically because of the limitations that 8-bit has. The fact that it is creepy in other Pokemon games doesn't disprove that.
Seriously, you have set up a perfect tone that actually kept me invested. Strange for a Chaos Key video. But nope! Screw audience investment. You had to shoehorn in a reference to Josh because you can't make your own jokes, and anytime you try, it's nothing more than shitty puns or some shit. I like these implications. It's now my headcanon that Sean is actually dead, and these videos are nothing more than his eternal torment for being literally Hitler in a previous life, all because his parents never let him go to the Fall Out Boys concert with his golf girlfriend, which is totally different from Emo, by the way. So he ended up doing a murder-suicide on his family, but that failed since it turned out he didn't have the right dosage of weed to OD off of, so he went to jail and then played butt buddies with Big Bubba and ended up killing him due to Sean's weak pelvis. What the fuck was any of that?
Again, that clip had nothing to do with anything.
I am not going to keep making this point. Humor is subjective. Your ramblings of a madman wasn't anything funny either, at least in my opinion. But yet you, or at least TPM Master, found it enough to leave it in the video.
Platinum.
Wait, what happened?
Oh no, this is bad. DoodleClones has gone into attack mode. She is about to flip out any second now. Oh no, she has escaped the lab. Sugar, you go after her.
Yes, sir.
And Susie, you do the rest of the commentary, while I hide under the desk.
Platinum's Darkrai event is...
For those curious, no, I have no idea what the point of that was, and no, it does not amount to anything later in the commentary. That was just pure pointlessness.
Speaking of the strange house in and of itself, the only reason I had so much to say in response here was because I've seen the member card Darkrai Platinum event for myself. The only reason I had much to say here at all was because I was comparing the strange house event to something else. To tell the truth, I really don't have much to say solely about the strange house event. I haven't played Black 2 and White 2 in a while, but seriously, I really don't remember much about my experiences checking out the strange house when I played through Black 2 and White 2. When I don't even remember much of my own experiences going through that event, then it must not be all that creepy to me.
This isn't your list now, is it? Next.
Hey Doodle, I thought you said you would stop repeating yourself.
No, she said she wasn't going to play the clip of Xeric engaging in absurdist humor while fabricating a Chaos Key backstory for the sake of a joke. She never said anything about not repeating herself more generally.
And we just killed our punching bag.
Come on, man. Don't tell me you're scared of a little light. Your username references Kingdom Hearts, for frick's sake.
Oh, look, Kaski is such an egotist that he made his cameo follow his own bullshit ideology of the no swearing club.
In fact, to everyone watching, what's wrong with some of us not wanting to swear? Maybe we're just trying to show more decency than the average person. Maybe we're just trying to set a good example for the youngins. And besides, it's like what Stuttering Craig said in that one top 10. You don't need to cuss to get your point across.
How childish. Even Josh let Alex swear in their co-op instead of forcing him to oblige his ideology.
Josh, that's a big fucking cake. That's a big fucking cake. Fucking.
Now just for clarification, that was meant to be censored, and the fact that it wasn't simply meant that Josh overlooked it when editing. That said, it also tells me that Alex doesn't have to tone himself down whenever he does something for Josh. I do not get that for your cameo.
Okay, what's your point?
That Chaos Key is forcing his cameos to abide by his rules, basically meaning that they can only appear on his channel if they don't act like themselves, which defeats the entire purpose of having other people in your video in the first place.
What does this have to do with anything?
And if somehow it
Get back to the countdown!
Oh, and while we still have this
Even if he doesn't like swearing, that's his right. Maybe he wants to keep his channel PG. I mean, I don't give a fuck myself, but maybe he does. Can you get off this topic now? No? Let me skip it then.
Didn't you say you liked the element of light?
Well, yeah, but...
Have you been a sham all along?
No! I am the Keyblade Warrior of Light, Chaos, and Shout!
No, you fool, that would be me. And that's all I have to say about DoodleClones for today. I hope you all have a nice day, and don't be a bully.
Wow, that was an abrupt ending. Anyway, final thoughts. This isn't the worst video I've covered. Hell, it's not even the worst commentary I've covered. But it is certainly the one with the least substance. Clones here didn't actually make any, well, points throughout this commentary, and it more felt like that she was grasping at straws the entire time. The fact that she commentated on every degree at one point or another, despite not really having much to say on any of them, definitely made this problem more obvious. I just felt nothing while I was watching the vast majority of it. Even though the points were bad, the most they did was annoy me. And I'll tell you this, if you thought this video would make me dislike DoodleClones, well, you failed in that regard. I just feel nothing. This is honestly one of the hardest videos to talk about because there's just nothing there. I guess in that regard, DoodleClones made a fool out of me. Happy April Fool's Day.